Part 1 of debunking nutrition myths. We're going to talk about macronutrients, protein, carbs, and fats.
TIP coming live from the VIP. Heard the nightlife, lost life without me. Both the feds in the state wanna see about me. The whole city got pissed, heard he got 3. That other rapper got a hit, but shouted he not out. Who set the city on fire soon as he got free?
Hey strong friends, it's Courtney. So a couple days ago I posted on Instagram asking people about their nutrition myths, and I was originally going to pick one question to answer, and I got so many amazing responses that I decided to do a YouTube series. I think this is going to be 4 videos, so this is part 1 of the questions that I am going to answer. I'm going to do my best to answer the questions that everybody asked. I gathered them into categories, so hopefully I can get through them as quickly as possible, as efficiently as possible. I made a whole bunch of notes, so I'm going to be reading over here on my screen just to make sure I stay on track and that I cover everything properly. So this is part 1 of my 4-part Ask Me Anything Nutrition Myths Debunked. All right, so we're going to start off with the topic of consuming protein. So strong friend Alora asks, myth, eating more protein will help you build more muscle. C Gruber 12 on Instagram asked, can you eat too much protein at one meal? And my strong friend Vanessa asks, what is up with the craze first 30 minutes of your day and first 30 grams of protein? Does this actually do anything? Is there proven logic behind it? So I'm kind of going to answer all 3 of those questions at once. Eating more protein will definitely provide your body, so your muscles, cells, and organs, with more building blocks or more support to repair or rebuild. But that doesn't necessarily mean that consuming more protein will equal getting more muscle. Our bodies absorb the amino acids that are actually found in the protein source. So it's not necessarily a question of how much protein can be absorbed at one meal, but rather what level of protein at each meal gives our bodies the maximum benefit for muscle building. We know that everybody is different, so people are going to absorb different macronutrients differently. That's why people have different macros, and it's not that 200 grams of protein for every female that's trying to get stronger. It doesn't mean that's gonna work. So everyone's different. As long as you have a healthy digestive tract, your body should be able to absorb nearly all of the amino acids that are found in your protein source. Otherwise, you'd be on the toilet a lot more often. So consuming, as a coach, what I usually say for clients is to consume your protein somewhat consistently throughout the day. So spread it. If you have 4 or 5 meals a day, spread your total protein source or your total protein macros for the day, spread them out throughout all of your meals. There's not necessarily like eating 30% or 30 grams of protein at your first meal is going to be better, or at the end of the day, kind of wherever you can get it. Maybe a little bit more pre and post workout, but if not, space it out throughout the day. That's what works. So consuming protein consistently throughout your day is definitely recommended, as it will help with regular protein synthesis. To say that you need to consume a specific number of grams of protein when you first wake up, I don't think that's neither smart nor accurate, as everybody's different and different bodies are going to require different protein amounts throughout the day. So a female that's 115 pounds versus a male that's 230 pounds, they're gonna have different protein intakes for the day. So space them out over a day. It's going to look very different between those 2 people. So in summary, from what I know, you should just consume a balanced amount of protein evenly throughout all of your meals. So moving on to topic number 2 about fats. And 2 questions. One is from my strong client, Tanya. She says, myth, eating fats will make you fat. And Tostitos, I hope I did that right. Tostitos asks, is eating fat really bad for you? So, answer. Fats are not only good for you, but they are crucial for living. You need to consume fats in your diet, and there's no other way to put it. Now, how much you eat and what type of fats should be consumed is going to be different for everyone. Fats don't make you fat. Eating too much of anything can make you fat. Eating too much chicken or vegetables or broccoli are gonna make you fat. So it's all about balance and eating the right foods for you. I did just post, I believe it's my last YouTube post that I talked about in my transformation with my body fat. I do talk about the importance of body fat in women, but just to recap, as general population, we need fats for healthy digestion, transportation of nutrients throughout our body, proper hormone function, energy extraction, and functioning of our nervous system. Optimal fats in your diet can consist of things like whole eggs. So yes, eating the yolks are very good for you. Fatty fish, avocados, nuts, and oils like olive and coconut. Moving on to carbs. Good old carbs. A couple questions that we got. Debunking the myth around bad versus good carbs from Christine, and from Stacy Gray Fit. She says, is a carb macro really just a carb macro, and does it matter what type? She said, many times I hear this, but I know how sugar affects me. Also, if your cortisol is elevated or insulin resistant, how is it possible you can eat sugary foods through IIFYM, or if it fits your macros, or flexible dieting, and not to have adverse side effects or slow weight loss? Answer: I don't believe there's necessarily good carbs and bad carbs. It's more like what carbs are optimal and less optimal sources. Carbs are broken down into 3 categories. They're going to consist of a fiber, sugar, and starch, and they can be a combination of those depending on what the carb source is. Carbs are also measured on the glycemic index, which is how different they raise blood sugar and insulin levels. So the higher on the GI, the greater the spike, which could have its pros and cons depending on your body. Different carbs, so let's compare an apple that's higher in sugar to, let's just go with a white potato that's higher in starch. They're going to react differently in the body per person. A quicker digesting carb, like the apple, would be more optimal around a workout because you'll absorb it quicker and it will fuel your energy sources. But the white potato is going to provide probably with some more nutrients, and it might be a better source, say, for a diabetic who needs more starches or fiber. Every macro and micro has its purpose in the body. Some people may be affected differently from sugar intake, again, like a diabetic, but that doesn't necessarily mean you'll gain fat or hinder fat loss. As a coach, I focus on total fiber intake from the clients from your carb source, and as long as you're getting a good range of fiber, which will vary from person to person, then I don't really nitpick on the amounts of sugar or starch that a client would consume. Again, it depends on the person. Everybody's different. So again, simple carbs are easier to digest and absorb around a workout, which is why you'll see a lot of athletes, for me, I see a lot of like powerlifters and weightlifters consuming a lot more like jelly beans or Gatorade or something like that, either right before or during their intense workouts. So those are the 3 categories of questions that I'm answering today on macronutrients, so your protein, carbs, and fats. I have 3 more videos that I am going to do, so stay tuned for that. If you have any other questions, please let me know. You can follow me on Instagram. I have Twitter. You can email me. I'm on Facebook. If you like this video, please like and subscribe below. Ask me any questions. Visit my website at CourtneyForLife.com, where I provide a lot more information through my blogs, through my client athlete page, through freebies and cheat sheets and tons of other information. So take a look around. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, catch you on the flip side. Have a good afternoon, guys. Thanks for watching.